Hello everyone, welcome back to one more video session. In this session, we are going to talk about chromosomal disorders, particularly aneuploidy. Because polyploidy is also a type of chromosomal disorder, but it is not given in your NCERT, so we are not going to discuss about it. But just remember some examples for polyploidy. Okay, for aneuploidy, there are three diseases which are given in your NCERT. The first one is Down syndrome, the second one is Klinefelter syndrome, the third one is Turner's syndrome. The aneuploidy is nothing but when the segregation of the chromosome takes place, particularly during the cell cycle, when the gamete formation is taking place. During the gamete formation, the homologous chromosome, it could be autosomal chromosome or allosomal chromosome, that is X chromosome. If they fail to segregate and one gamete will receive one extra chromosome. Hope you getting my point. Correct. One extra chromosome is entering into the gamete. So that gamete, for example, if that gamete is a sperm, instead of having 23 chromosomes, it will have 24 chromosomes. The sperm is containing some abnormal number of chromosomes. One extra chromosome is there along with 23 chromosomes. If it fertilizes a normal ovum which is having 23 chromosomes, obviously you see a total of 47 chromosomes instead of 46 chromosomes. 46 chromosomes in a particular cell or in a person is a normal condition which is diploid, but in this case it is abnormal condition. What is aneuploidy? Aneuploidy is a kind of like process where failure in the segregation during cell cycle or maybe during the gamete formation, which results in the increase or decrease of a single chromosome in a cell, that is called as aneuploidy. What we can do is, with 2n is a diploid condition, correct? So we just write plus 1 in the sense increase of a single chromosome, or it could be 2n minus 1. That is, for example, in this case, let us assume that the failure of segregation, in this case, the extra chromosome is now not entering into this particular gamete. Instead of that, we have only 22 chromosomes. So it will fuse us, obviously, this particular sperm now fuses with this ovum, and ultimately 22 plus 23, 45. The zygote will have 45 chromosomes. So it is single, it is actually decrease of a single chromosome in the zygote. So that is 2n minus 1. We can use this 2n plus 1, 2n minus 1. This is the thing that is aneuploidy. What is polyploidy? Polyploidy in the sense, if you take a particular individual, normally it doesn't occur in animals. Instead of that, it is seen in plants. Nowadays, the polyploidy, it's a natural mechanism, sometimes occurs in the plants. What you see is sometimes, let us assume that, let us take the plant is having 46 chromosomes in its each cell, and particularly what you see is 46 is a normal condition. Suppose something has happened, the failure of segregation of a complete set. Instead of that, one gamete receives 46 itself, that is one gamete is 2n, the other gamete is n. It should not happen actually, but it happened. And as a result, 2n plus n, it becomes 3n. Instead of having 46 chromosomes in the zygote, it will have 69 chromosomes. That means the entire set of the chromosome now entering into the gamete. Okay, this is also failure of segregation. In this case, only one chromosome is entered, or maybe like one chromosome failed to enter the gamete. That's it. But in this case, all the entire set, the haploid set, is now entering into the gamete. So here, for example, like 2n plus n. See, this n in the sense haploid set of chromosome. This is diploid set of chromosome. Instead of that, you have 3n. This is polyploidy. Got it? So, what is polyploidy? An organism is having an extra set of chromosome along with the natural set of chromosome. That is polyploidy. Extra set of chromosome. Or it could be 2n plus 2 or 2n plus 2n. That is also correct. 2n plus 2n. 4n. So 4n. For example, if n equal to 22, so you can calculate. So it is 46 plus 22, 69. Or in this case, 46 plus 46, 92. See, the total chromosome set itself double. This is polyploidy. Anyhow, like not necessary, but we will speak about aneuploidy very easily. The first example for aneuploidy, please note I am talking about aneuploidy. Down syndrome. Down syndrome. What is this Down syndrome? Okay, we'll speak about it. The second one is the Klinefelter's syndrome. The third one is Turner's syndrome. Turner's syndrome. Okay, so here I'll just write the scientist name who discovered this kind of disease in a particular individual, that is Langdon Down. Remember it? Langdon Down actually first identified this kind of disease in a particular individual. What is this Down syndrome? You have seen many people who are short, mainly in circus or in movies like as jokers. They normally have a height of around 2 to 3 feet maximum. They are very short, but if you look into their palm, it is broad. They have very short digits, and their mouth is bit bigger, as well as the tongue is bit protruded. It's like protruded. Okay, so this is the one thing to remember. Okay, so these are the symptoms of Down syndrome, and majority of the Down syndrome people are fertile. They can produce egg ones through sexual reproduction. That is there. Okay, but certain symptoms will be there. And another thing is the mental growth, which will be retarded. Okay, so they don't have a very good mental growth. So this is actually the symptoms. Anyhow, I'm going to give you the symptoms of it. I will not speak about symptoms much. But what is the reason behind Down syndrome? Okay, so it is also called as monosomy. What is this monosomy? Monosomy means mono means single, zomy means chromosome. Addition of a single chromosome. Particularly monosomy could be allosome or it could be autosome. But in the Down syndrome, it is the increase of single autosome. So one autosomal chromosome will add to the 21st chromosome. If you just take the karyotype, okay, so this is the karyotype, you know what is karyotype, this is chromosome number pair 1, this is 2, like that. When you reach the 21st homologous pair in human beings, obviously it is autosome, correct? So due to the failure in the segregation, the one extra chromosome, that is autosome itself, will be added. See, XXX. I'm not talking about allosome, I'm talking about datosome. See, you see 3X. So this is monosome, addition of a single chromosome. It could be autosome or it could be allosome, but for this concept it is autosome. Monosome is mainly because of addition of one autosome into the 21st chromosome that causes Down syndrome. So here, how many chromosomes are there? 3 chromosomes are there. So this condition, the Down syndrome, can also be called as trisomy. So you have to remember monosomy as well as trisomy. Trisomy means 3 chromosomes. Okay, trisomy. So this is very important concept. Please remember this Down syndrome. The symptoms are very simple. Okay, so we'll speak about the Klinefelter's syndrome, the second one. In the Klinefelter syndrome, here, see, let me tell you, in the Down syndrome, the sexes are not affected. It could occur in male as well as it could occur in females also. In the Klinefelter syndrome, majority of them are the males. The males are affected. The reason is very simple. Why males are affected? Suppose a normal man, I think better I write here, a normal man who marries a normal woman, and you know that, let us assume that one of the offspring is XY, that is male. He is also normal. This is actually natural phenomenon that occurs in the nature. Now, okay, so this is the cross symbol. Okay. Now, let us assume that due to the failure in the segregation during gamete formation, both XX, that is from the mother, now enters into, okay, we use this, into the gamete. This is the 2 chromosome, that is allosomes, which fail to segregate and it entered into the gamete, and obviously the male either produces X type of sperm or Y type of sperm. Let us assume that Y type. Okay, so XXY. So what is the karyotype? Karyotype will be XXY. Correct. So I can also write 44 autosomes, which is normal. But when you come to this X chromosome, it is XXY. These two X's are given by the female, that is the mother, and Y is given by the father. That's it. Okay, this is the thing to remember. So Klinefelter syndrome is also available example for aneuploidy, which is total number of chromosomes will be 47. You count it: 44A, 45, 46, 47. So here the males are affected. That means he is a male, but he shows or exhibits feminine or female characters. Feminine characters will be there or female characters will be there. These individuals show the female characters. That is, for example, like the boys. Okay, so boys will be feminine kind of it. Okay, and they exhibit certain structural changes. Like they also exhibit the presence of breasts. Okay, the mammary glands will be there, and also their reproductive organ also underdeveloped. That means they are 100% infertile. Okay, so this is the thing. But if you look into the normal morphology of the person who is suffering from Klinefelter syndrome, they are normal actually, in the sense like the height and everything. But they are having around 50% of female characters. We have seen them, correct? Okay, that is the Klinefelter syndrome. What about the Turner syndrome? Turner syndrome is, let me just tell you, here the person, the particular individual, the affected individuals are the females. Okay, females. Here what happens? Let us assume that during the, I think I can write here, during the formation of the gametes, so this is XY and this is XX. This is from, this is the sex chromosome of the father and this is the sex chromosome of the mother. Okay, so let us predict that this X now enters, that is that sperm which is containing X chromosome. Okay, now fuses with the ovum, where ovum doesn't contain any X chromosome. There is no X chromosome here. What happened to that X chromosome? Because they failed to segregate and it might have moved to another gamete. And this particular gamete doesn't receive any X chromosome. That's it. So what is actually the karyotype? The karyotype will be 44A plus X0. That's it. So this 0 should have been supposed to be the X or X itself. Okay, that means it should have been the female, but unfortunately it received only X from the father, but it did not receive any X from the mother gamete. That's it. So this is Turner syndrome. Here all the females, are sufferers. Okay, because they don't receive X chromosome from the mother. So the karyotype will be 44A plus X0. Please remember it. Okay. I forgot to mention that in the Down syndrome, we can also continue write like 21st trisome. Addition of one extra chromosome in the 21st autosome, that is 21st trisomy. Okay, so please remember the karyotype of Klinefelter syndrome and Turner syndrome. It could be asked. Even you can write this, write the karyotype as 45A plus XX1. Okay, so this is also, no, sorry, this is 44A, correct. So, okay, so we can go with this 44A plus XX1, correct, that is correct. Okay, this is actually the karyotype of the Turner syndrome. Hope you understood this. And the symptoms, simple, females are here underdeveloped certain reproductive structures, like they are infertile. There is no development of the mammary glands, and even the voice development, and there is certain mental retardedness could be seen. These are all actually symptoms of Turner syndrome. That means they are not exhibiting female characters, but they are females, but they fail to express the female characters. In this case, males with female character. In this case, it could be male or female with normal, everything is normal, but unfortunately the one chromosome is added to the 21st homologous pair, that is autosome, that is 21st trisome. Down syndrome, they are very short with certain morphological abnormalities will be there. So this is all about the aneuploidy. Hope you understood it. This is the last session, and obviously we have done with all the concepts, particularly for board examination. If you are seriously preparing for board examination, there is a small suggestion. What you can do is like notes which is given by me. Open it, which is very easy to study, because I type in such a way that we can easily understand it. You just go through with all the concepts, and at the same time you have watched the videos and have taken the notes also. Fine, you just match or compare with it. and then stress on some important concepts. Okay, whenever I does the video, I used to stress this particular concept is important, so go through with that. And you know that for your board examination from this chapter, the maximum marks will be 10. So this chapter is very important, very important. So you cannot skip this chapter. There is a high possibility of one question for 2 marks and one question for 3 marks and one question for 5 marks. For 5 marks, it could be monohybrid cross experiment and dihybrid cross experiment or incomplete dominance, chromosomal theory of inheritance or sickle cell anemia. There are like some possibilities are there. We can easily predict which question could be asked. If you are thorough with all these 5 questions, obviously you can. Forgot to mention one more, that is the multiple allelism in that codominance. I have observed in these days, during lockdown period, we have conducted certain tests. In that, you people commit the same mistake. What is the mistake? Whenever you write, for example, a question is asked about explain about monohybrid cross experiment. Always remember, you have to write some explanation point. It is for 3 marks. And what about the 2 marks? If it is asked for 5 marks, 3 marks for explanation and 2 marks for schematic representation, which is compulsory. That means it could be sex determination in humans. You write the explanation part and after that you write the schematic representation. If you fail to write the schematic representation, you are going to lose the marks. This is what I have seen in many papers, that you people forget to write the schematic representation. I don't know what is the reason behind it. Okay, so make sure that. And whenever you write capital R, please mention what is it, whether it is heterozygous or whether it is homozygous. If you write homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive, mention it. Okay, then you write F1, then you know the cross. When after crossing the parent 1 and parent 2, you get F1. In the bracket write down whether it is heterozygous and then write its phenotype. Okay, and be thorough with all phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio of all the experiments conducted by Mendel. Okay, even you have to remember incomplete dominance, codominance. And one more thing, a very silly mistake. How do you write the genotype of the blood group AB? Capital I, A, capital I, B. This is actually the genotype. Some you write A, B. What is this? Okay, please try to improve yourself and don't miss it. Okay, you are preparing for your second year PUC examination. At the same time, you are also competing with millions of students for getting one seat in MBBS. Remember it. So your effort should be very high. And for NEET, the suggestion is, you go through with all NCERT points. Just open the NCERT textbook. At the same time, you have watched my videos. Compare it. Whenever I missed, or sometimes obviously human errors will be there. If I missed any of the concept, obviously underline it and learn it. Or you can also bring the notice to me. Also, if I have forgot anything to mention, this is the thing. And after that, solve maximum number of MCQ. Particularly, many students ask me whether is it necessary to study the intergenic interactions like epistasis, because there are 2 types, dominant epistasis, recessive epistasis, whether it is required, or maybe complementary genes, supplementary genes, okay, lethal genes. There are many out there. Is it necessary? Earlier it was asked in some examination, not particularly in NEET, but when we study, let us know about everything. Because to be in safer side, because we don't know whether this particular type of question will be asked or not. Okay, so we cannot predict, because if you check any old NEET papers, last 3 years NEET paper, you could see 80 to 85 questions, particularly from biology, were picked from NCERT textbook, but 10 to or like 5 to 10 questions were picked from outside the syllabus. So if you just fail to answer one question, you are going to lose 1 mark, like that. So this is the thing. Or maybe you are going to lose the 4 marks, the valuable 4 marks. So that could bring a big change in your ranking. Hope you are understanding me. So better you learn it. The easiest way to learn everything is, make a flowchart. Simple. For example, Mendelian experiments. Right. What are the important concepts to learn? Okay. Which particular subject he chose to do the experiment or to conduct the experiment? That is Poisson's atom. Right. And why he selected Poisson's atom? Write the reasons. Or maybe write small points about it. Okay, then the scientist name, many scientists are there. For example, T.H. Morgan, Alfred Stewart Wendt, Sutton and Boveri. Write everything. So this is the thing. Okay, be sure with all the concepts. Have that confidence. Okay, when you are learning, learn everything. It is not necessary that you have to stick to only my video or whatever I say. Not like that. You can go beyond that. Whenever, obviously you are at home right now, you can have the access to the internet. You can learn more about it. There are so many animated videos are available about Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, or Turner syndrome. Just watch it. Okay. Just only thing is enhance your knowledge. Okay. So that's all about from this chat.